is Kirk.
And this is Byrd. Kirk and Byrd Show. We've got our first top 10 NoVA high school football list that we've come up with. We've been putting this out Twitter, Facebook page, but we thought we'd give you a YouTube version that you can track and hear as well. This is the last regular season week of high school football in Virginia. And so we just thought we've been able to compile, review, and come up with what we thought are the top 10 teams in Northern Virginia. But before we tell you those, Kirk, why don't you tell folks how they can find us?
Yeah, so like Rusty said, we can be found on YouTube. You can subscribe there. Please subscribe there. We're starting to tweet more, so we'll tweet this video so you can connect to it, where we've been tweeting a top 10, but this is going to be different. We're going to have this video. So at the Kirk and Byrd on Twitter. And again, this 703-540-540, you're in there. We Kettle Run people. That Facebook page, we know parents are in that. Please sign up for that. We got a lot of content. We're covering all the sports, Arlington, Fairfax County, Loudoun, Fauquier. So that's where we can be found. So Rusty, let's talk about final week of the season. This is our Northern Virginia top 10.
Yep. But let's go from 10 to 1. Let's make it exciting. But before we do that, why don't we tell folks who either dropped out or who's just still in contention. So they didn't make the top 10, but they're really good teams. And they could, I think every one of these teams has potential to win their region, advance the states and everything. Why don't you tell everyone who's in contention?
Yeah. And this is in no particular order. New power ratings are out, and we're not stacking those. This is in no particular order, right? So this is like in consideration. If you just look at the old AP votes, they would do the next 4 or 5. So in no particular order.
Others receiving votes.
Yeah, there you go. Others receiving votes. We got Lake Braddock Bruins, a very good team. Briarwoods.
They've only got 2 losses to 2 really good teams.
Briarwoods has just 2 losses against 2 very big athletic teams. A team we've not talked about enough and are going to be key, and we're going to be keying in on this, is John Champ in that Class 4 region with Tuscarora. Colonial Forge, a team that's very much in contention. Brentsville District, huge game this weekend at Kettle Run. And then West Springfield. We've had some people comment we haven't been giving West Springfield enough love. If you look at our weekly picks, we've been picking those guys to win. So like Rusty said, this is in no particular order according to the power rating. So let's get right down to it. Our top 10. We're going to go backwards.
All right.
We'll
go every other one. I'll say the first one. I'll do even numbers. Right?
Yeah, we'll go round robin every other. So I'll do number 10. We've got Washington and Liberty and Arlington. They're playing Wakefield this weekend. They've only got 1 loss. Very impressive season thus far. They're going to be interesting in the playoffs.
Yep.
Number 9.
I totally agree. Yep. Number 9. Everybody knows Rusty's favorite quarterback, Jordan Dennis. So we got South County at number 9. They are the only team in our top 10 with 2 losses, but 1 is out of the state against Quince Orchard. And otherwise, and then they played a very, very close game. I think a 1-score game against Madison.
Right.
So they've played a very tough schedule. They've beaten a lot of really good teams. They're coming off a victory over Lake Braddock. And so they come in at number 9.
Okay. Next is Tuscarora right here in Leesburg, an undefeated team. They're going to be finishing out their year at Broad Run. I believe that's at home. That's going to be an interesting team because, like I said earlier, John Champ is a school that, honestly, Rusty, I think they're headed for a regional final. Number 7?
Number 7, Kettle Run. Kettle Run used to be Class 4, but they dropped down to Class 3, and they'll be playing a really big game against Brentsville on Friday against Brentsville District. But they're undefeated. They've got a lot of talent, and this will be their toughest test. The thing that's unique about this is that both teams, this is their last game, but it'll probably meet again for the regional final.
Yeah, and that some could say that game between Kettle Run and Brentsville may be the state championship, because Phoebus is out of 3 and moving to 4. So I'm going to be at that game out in Kettle Run. So looking forward to that. The next is Battlefield, a team that's been impressive. We're going to talk about them on our weekly picks. They're closing out the year, a big game, a big rivalry game with Patriot. And we will be analyzing that game. So Battlefield's going to be tough going into the playoffs. And then next at number 5, Rusty.
Number 5, James Madison out of Vienna. Madison only has 1 loss. They've played probably one of the tougher schedules in this whole group, just playing their district schedule. But even their out-of-district schedule has been very, very tough. They played Stonebridge, won that game in the first game of the season. And this team has been to the state finals the last 2 years. This Madison team is really, really good and strong. And they're the highest rated team with a loss.
Yep. I was going to say, we've got them above 3 teams that are undefeated. And the reason is the amount of respect that we have for Coach Counts. 2 straight state championship appearances. And, they beat a Stonebridge team that's coming on strong now. Next is a team that's going to be very dangerous in 4, and that's King George.
Yes.
They went to Eastern View and Culpeper and beat a tough Eastern View team. They've got those 2 great wideouts, Mackay White and Chance Wiggins, and they're going to be finishing up at Chancellor. What do we have at number 3? We got a raucous fan base at number 3, Rusty.
So at number 3, another undefeated team, and they've earned it. Like, they beat Madison. And so this team is South Lake. Really good squad, playing in one of, if not the toughest districts in the state of Virginia. So they have earned their position at number 3, being undefeated.
And they've got a big talented Westfield team coming to Reston this Friday. If I wasn't going to the Kettle Run game, I would go to that one. But South Lake's very impressive season and very, very good athletes. So we'll close it out with we've got 2 of the region teams you're talking about, Rusty.
Yeah. So we've got 2 teams that have gone back and forth kind of in PowerPoints from the VHSL. But always it's been number 1 in our poll. So number 1 is Freedom and number 2 is Mountain View. But if you think we're wrong, let us know. But this is one that won't take too long to figure out, because they will probably be 2 of the teams in the regional final.
Yep. And there's like 3 or 4 key games this weekend. So that's going to move around. So we're going to have a different top 10 next week. But, next weekend is when the playoffs start, and everybody's going to be playing a formidable opponent. So we look forward to that. So before we close out, make sure that you subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter at the Kirk and Byrd, and make sure that you check out our weekly picks episode. Some of the teams and games that we talked about, we'll be analyzing, and we'll release that in the next couple of days.
And just so you can hear it from top to bottom, I'll go ahead and review that list for you. So we have at number 1, we have Freedom Woodbridge, who also currently sits at number 2 in the Washington Post, only behind Good Counsel. We think they should be number 1 in the Washington Post. Next, we have number 2, we've got Mountain View. Number 3, South Lakes. Number 4, King George. Number 5, Madison in Vienna. We've got Battlefield at number 6. Number 7 is Kettle Run. Number 8, Tuscarora. Number 9, South County. And rounding out our top 10, we have Washington Liberty.
So, all right.
Yep. So thanks for watching. Hey, now this is the part I'm looking forward to. Give us comments. Give us feedbacks. Tell us what we didn't get right. Who are we missing? I really appreciate it when somebody pops in and says, hey, you're not giving West Springfield love. Or, hey, what about South County? Or what about this? So give us that feedback. And anything that we get wrong, I'll blame it on Kirk.
Right. Which I rarely get wrong. So.
Right. So for my co-host, Kirk Hilliard, this is Rusty Byrd for the Kirk and Byrd Show and our Top 10. We are out.